In this video, we're going to do a whistle-stop tour through my Invest Engine account from last year, where I used it as my stocks and shares ISA. And as I always say, it's a brilliant platform to use for beginners, and I really liked it. But this year, I've obviously transitioned over to Trading 212, and mainly because it has the ability to buy individual stocks. Go and have a look at my latest portfolio update, which I'll put up above. What's been going on in the world? So today, we've just seen the Bank of England raised the base rates up by 0.5% up to 5%. Highest it's been in an awfully long time. It's way before 2008 crash, before we had seen anything looking like that. But you then look at what's going on in America, and as we can see here, everything's basically green. So we have S&P 500, NASDAQ, and even the VIX is down at the lowest it's been all year, bouncing in around a score of 13. European markets, red across the board, everybody sort of following that lead of whatever's been going on in the London Stock Exchange. Asia, everything's down as well. There are different things going on around the world. Seems to be a bit of optimism in the States with their inflation coming down, but what has this done to my account? How am I looking? I am looking at being in around £3,310 and a few pennies. In reality, that is down by about £8. And actually, when I last looked at this last month, we were on a reasonably good trajectory and everything was looking quite rosy, quite positive. What do we actually have in here? We've got the 5 ETFs that I've actually invested into. And if you look at these, there's sort of a bit of a common thread through here. I'm looking at trying to pick up dividends through these ETFs. First one that I've got is IUKD, and I also hold that over in my Trading 212 account. It is down about £100 at the moment, which is about 9%, and it's taken a bit of a hit. Let's have a look over the last year. And as we can see from this chart, it's a bit up and down. And one thing that I quite like about this is that yield is quite good. The bit that I'm not overly impressed with is the 0.4% ongoing charge that this ETF has on the Invest Engine platform and Trading 212. That's the only cost that you're going to be paying on that. I will be buying in some more into this when the dividends come through towards the end of this month. So second ETF that I have in here is the good old VUSA, VUSA. I quite like this ETF because this gives me that exposure into the top 500 companies within the US, and you see some of those tech giants, your Googles, your Amazons, etc., all driving growth at the moment in the States. It does give a little bit of a dividend. I'm not that worried about that, the 1.37. I am looking at this more for its growth rate. It is really good, and I've done a video that looks at the best ETFs, and actually VUSA, if you were to invest, just as Warren Buffett says, just invest into a simple ETF that just tracks the S&P 500 and you can become a millionaire. Or over the last year, VUSA is up 11%, which is certainly an improvement from where it was sometime in March when it was down quite heavily. And I am VUSA, I'm up about 2.15%. Let's have a look at the all world high dividend, so VHYL. Over the last year, once again, quite bumpy and moving about quite a bit, but this one's giving a yield at the moment because of the price at about 4%, and the ongoing charge there is 0.29. The one that I've done best out of, and I think this was just because of the time that I'd bought in at, and I've only bought in a small amount into here, and that is VUKE, the FTSE 100, and you can see that I was just dollar cost averaging in and sort of just buying in consistently every month. A small amount of money was going into this ETF. Good yield on this one, it's 4.25%, and looking at 0.09. And then finally, I can buy the emerging markets through HSBC on this platform. When you go and have a look at the Trading 212 account that I have, I do have ETFs in there, but it is Vanguard's. It is looking slightly down, and I suppose that is a little bit disappointing. I was hoping to see the emerging markets taking off a little bit more, but we seem to have this bit of stagnation in China. There is some growth, but it isn't quite the kind of growth that we were hoping to see as they came out of their very strict COVID lockdowns. We were expecting to see things take off, but that hasn't been the case. I'm continuing to buy into VFEM over on the Trading 212 account. What I'm going to do with this portfolio, I'm probably going to leave it here, but what I will do, as those dividends come in, I will just move those across into Trading 212 and buy larger ETF holdings. What I might do, if I get to a point where I'm actually quite happy with the price of some of these, I might sell out, transfer it across, because I could move this ISA across and transfer that into Trading 212, but it does take a long time. I'd love to know which ones of these you're also invested into, and how are you doing? Did you get in at a better time than I did? Because obviously this was last year's ISA, so it really started on the 6th of April 2022, and I just paid in £250 per month and just kept putting that in and put everything on set and forget, and it automatically just invested into those ETFs. And why don't you go have a look at this video, which gives you some idea on what I'm invested into over in the Trading 212 platform. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye.